I get how fun it is, right? It's the big event. But to me,
Mhm.
there's still an element of like I'm not going to fire all my bullets on the Super Bowl type style. Like when I bet on the Super Bowl, I understand that it's some of the tightest lines you're going to see. Like you're just from book to book, all of that. And understandably, I would imagine like with some of these odds with golf, even the Masters, they can vary across books. And I'm not a big PGA better. I'll tail what you give me. But aside from that, I'm not originating anything. Good thing I didn't tail it this week. But
Thanks.
it's what I'm saying though is like the Masters is the one that every single casual is betting. Does it make sense to be betting additional volume on the Masters when you could be doing it on some of these lesser known tournaments that probably have better edges, just as it would be with any other sport?
Yeah, so it's kind of like two different things. Yeah, I agree with that. The one difference, and this is analogous actually, you nailed this with the Super Bowl. With the Super Bowl, like your biggest edges are probably like these, they have props that you don't get on like week 13.
Right.
And with the Masters, like you can bet like top South American, top, like really weird matchups. So like if you dig, you can find uh then again, maybe you can't because like I bet some like very obscure guys to miss the cut who are just playing horrible and they both seemingly are just like Augusta Slayers now. So uh but no, I it is what it is. It's a golf tournament. Golf is nuts. Like Fred Couples is 65 years old and he's beating, like some of the best players in the world.
Yeah, I
Like there
saw
is no
that.
other sport like that.
That's remarkable.
Like
But yeah, no, I just always it's something to me where obviously I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. But and then there's that element of like you just said with couples. It seems any of these majors, like there's just random guys
yeah.
that show up and dominate, whereas some of the like preeminent golfers in the world just fold. It's it's
Yeah,
weird.
it's a weird there's just a lot and the other difference between this one and every other major is obviously at the Masters you play at the same course every year. So like there is something to have played the course like 40, 30, 20 years in a row. Um the US Open, you're at a course and even if you've been around and it's in the rotation, you may have played it 9 years ago.
Right.
Like you play Masters every year. Every year. So, it's just one of those things, but yeah, you see this? Look at
That's
Blue Nile.
amazing. That's
That's what
amazing.
I'm talking about. By the way, I'm telling you, it works. The Waka one hit. I hit that prop, by the way. I don't know if you
Uh
tailed that.
was it walk? Yeah, I hit that too.
Yeah, it was Waka at plus money, and now I have the Nuggets.
Yep. I actually texted you. I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
yo,
you
this is
did. I'm
really
sorry. You
what?
texted me this. You texted me that. I'm completely.
No, but I texted you that, but I also texted you. I was like, yo, this shit is really fun. Like
It's fun,
it
man. It's fun,
there's an
and it's
element
profitable.
obviously of boosting your payout and still profiting on that individual bet. If it wins, if it loses, you would have lost that extra allocation of funds elsewhere or anyway, right? But there's something exciting about like, all right, sweet, we won that. And now you're telling me that I've got like all these additional futures tickets
Yeah,
that I can sweat.
a little bonus action, and so like for the reason I love this is when it adds up quickly in a good way, but it doesn't add up in the bad way. Like you're talking about small tickets that if you're like you barely feel them, and when you get them, it's like boom, like that. Cavs, that's a sick future to have.
That's a great future.
You just
Yeah.
have that in your back pocket now. Like
And he got it at 30 and a half to 1.
yeah, and Schwarber home run again. Like if you're taking things off the tools or whatnot, some of these bets you're already cashing the ticket, and now you have this little extra bonus. I've been doing that a lot. I'm gonna continue to do it.
Today.
Yeah, probably. I'll probably use it with like a golfer.
You can do it with a golfer. I mean, I think we can also do it with some home run props. A really big MLB slate today. By the way, happy to have you guys with us.
Well,
Hit
that's what I
that thumbs
mean.
up.
Home run and a
Subscribe.
golfer.
What?
Like a home run with a golfer.
Oh, got you. Yeah. Okay. You're saying golfer as far as future goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hit that thumbs up, subscribe. It's free to do so. We appreciate you guys for it. If you're watching on X, if you don't mind, like the stream, retweet it, quote tweet it, whatever it is, leave a comment. All that stuff goes a really long way for us. So we appreciate you for it. I actually have some ideas for just home runs in general. We have a lot of good home run props on the board right now. Like
I like that.
on the live odds tool, we have a lot of home run props popping up. Now, of course, a lot of these are on FanDuel, understandable. And if you're betting them with any of these futures, we're obviously trying to find, the best of both worlds here. We can do that. We've done it already. But just look at this on the screen, Ben. Like you've got some real.
Oh man, some of these are. Jorge Polanco, I bet him the other day. Did a home run.
Did he?
No.
What?
No.
No. Yeah, okay.
He certainly did not. But look at that.
Brett Rooker
7-1
against Griffin Canning. Jorge Polanco, Jack Sawinski.
I bet Jock. I mean, it's no surprise that similar guys show up often, but I bet Jock the other day too.
Yeah, Jock does tend to pop up quite often. I mean, if you look at this at plus 560, pretty big gap in these other odds. Let me scroll to the top here.
Look at that.
What's that?
I'm just messing around with this thing. I love this thing. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty sweet. Rollo Brown, what's up, brother? Yeah, that one with Drew Miles is awesome. And Cavs are legitimately live.
Oh, they're like the Nuggets is we need to run dangerously hot just to have a chance. The Cavs are a serious threat to win the whole thing.
There was a story yesterday on Twitter about a deceased man's family finding out that he had like over $100,000 in Celtics futures. And, by their request and granted by the sportsbooks as well, they were allowed to cash those bets out on his, on his behalf, on the deceased's behalf. He's probably rolling over in his grave right now.
I'm sure, not thrilled.
Does the math add up there?
Yeah, that's, there's always, you have to.
Because you said never cash out yesterday.
Yeah, well, he cashed out in the life, unfortunately. Yeah, I didn't. So it's funny. I always think about stuff like that. Like, I mean, I tell me all the time, like if the stress I'm under, if I drop dead, like definitely make sure like she has all those passwords so she can go get, and she'll be like, what the hell? Why did he bet the Nuggets? That idiot. But yeah, I mean,
the Nuggets with Michael Waka.
Yeah, she's like, who the hell is Michael Waka? You know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to do it on the show, actually. I'm betting the Stanley Cup. Playoffs are going to start soon. I don't have any hockey exposure.
All right, so we can do that as well. We can work that in.
I'm going home run.
Yes, I genuinely want to use a home run here because we've got some good options.
Yeah, I'm going to the videotape on the second computer. Here we go.
Dylan Moore against DeGrom. That's a hard pass for me.
No. Nope.
Rafaela.
Who?
So it looks like there's a lot for this Boston team against Martin today. Now, the weather there looks pretty rough. This guy actually doesn't give up a ton of pop, but those are popping up on FanDuel for sure.
What do you think about Polanco?
What's that?
What do you think about that Polanco one?
I mean, against DeGrom, I don't love picking on DeGrom. Understandably, it's a plus EV spot, and DeGrom did give up 2 home runs last game, but I don't know. Don't you think we can maybe find some better spots here?
Yeah, maybe we'll go with
old Jock.
Yeah,
Jock,
that's
maybe I shouldn't be so picky about these because they are like, there is a positive edge. I just hate betting players to homer in this Seattle park. I hate it.
No, I get it. And that, I mean, again, it's all baked into the odds. I want to make that clear.
Yep.
It is a 6.5 run total, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that what it is in that
Yeah.
game? Yeah.
So
good pitcher too.
That's what I mean. It's not like I respect Miller and obviously DeGrom. So it's no easy situation.
And you got old Mickey Moniak as
well.
Oh,
that's my winner. Devers.
Yeah, I was thinking about Devers here. It is kind of an interesting one.
I like that a lot.
This guy started off the season worse than any batter you could possibly imagine. I mean, just terrible, right? And he has what, 1 home run on the season? But here's the good thing. I love this play because if there's a guy that just ends up turning things around because we know how good he is and we know he absolutely crushes right-handed pitching, to me, I mean, this is Devers to me tonight is the spot. That's the spot for me.
I bet it right now.
All right. Now, again, it is kind of shitty weather, not the best home run park. I don't know how much I care in this game. I like this Devers spot.
I put him with the oil.
What's that?
Oil.
And because it's on FanDuel, the likelihood that he's in the lineup is still pretty high.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll take that risk. But yeah, I went with the oil, just so you know.
With the Oilers?
Mm-hmm.
Is that their nickname, the Oil?
Well, that's literally their name.
What do you mean?
Well, they're the Oilers.
But I thought you said the Oil.
I call them the Oil. I don't know. That's probably just like a tick. Like I call the Lightning the Bolts.
Well, yeah, sure. But that's like a common nickname. I'm asking you is...
No, people say that. It's not
okay, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
like the Bolts is a very common nickname.
Yeah, the Oil.
The Panthers, they call them the Cats.
Okay. Sharks.
Right.
You just call them the Sharks, I think.
Call them the I don't know.
They play in the Shark Tank, which is cool. I respect that.
They do?
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks has like that. All right, so let me take a look at something real quick. I think Devers is our guy for right now,
54
right?
to 1, by the way.
What?
54 to 1 on that, just for people taking notes.
Okay. What did you put on it? What do you put on that? Like a 10 spot?
I put $30 on it.
Oh,
to win.
Okay.
Hold on, because I have a lot of these now. Yeah, at 54 to 1, so to win like 1,500.
Man, Davis Martin did not give up a lot of home runs last year. I can't say I'm too concerned about that.
Can I bring something up that's not super important?
Please.
Don't you think it would be kind of a cool idea for the Sharks to play in an arena and under the ice was an aquarium? Since there was actual like fish. So like, how sick would that be?
Yeah, it'd be amazing. It would be.
That's a good idea.
The maintenance would be impossible.
Maybe. I'm just saying.
But also, you wouldn't be able to see it if you're a player.
Why not?
Because it's not like pond ice that they skate on.
I'm sure they could figure it out.
Like it's white ice.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like make it like glass, so you could see the Sharks.
I mean, it's a big undertaking. That's a tall ask. Maybe.
They should do it. They got time. They got about 30 points. Yeah, I mean today is a loaded slate. There's so many NBA games too.
I know, and the problem is most of them are not actionable.
No.
Because what you're going to see, like if you go in and look at these books, if they're posting any props at all, they're just going to give you to offer overs.
Have you seen these? Like, this is insane. Hawks -11, Celtics -19.5, Bulls -16.5, Heat -15, Mavericks -12.5, Timberwolves -20.5 tonight over the Nets. Golden State 14.5. I mean, I just rattled off like 7 spreads.
It's nuts. And you're only going to be able to bet overs on almost all of those spots.
Brutal. The books are saying they
No
don't want
thank
that.
No, they're good. They'll pass. And they'll do the same thing on Sunday too.
Yeah.
All right, Devers at plus 450.
Yep.
And I mean, what are the NBA championship odds at right now?
Yeah, you could go get another one of those.
Thunder, Celtics, Cavs. Wow, Cavs are 5-1, huh?
Yeah. That's not a bad price in general.
No. I'm just stating how much different it is, how much shorter odds the Thunder and Celtics have.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't think that the Cavs can beat the Celtics in a series,
Which
even
I
though they're
don't.
going to have home court.
Yeah, I get it.
I
I
think
might
that
go. I
personally.
might go with another MLB team. But the problem is if you're not going Dodgers.
You can't.
What are you saying?
You can't.
Can't what? Not go
You
Dodgers?
No, you can't parlay baseball
Oh,
with
right.
baseball. You have to go.
Nope, you're right. I forgot.
Yeah, it's annoying. You
But
go.
even so, like the Dodgers are plus 240 to win the World Series, and we are in April.
Yeah, it's insane.
Do you realize how stupid that is? I'm not even saying it's wrong. I'm saying it's like the team that they've assembled at this point is just head and shoulders above everybody else. Plus 240 in April? How,
it's insane. I mean, you just don't see that. But there's so much time. I'm looking towards more, because keep this in mind. I want to be clear, and I don't want to make the show all about this. One drawback, if you have but that's why I really think you should do this with low dollar amounts. You're tying up your money for a long time potentially.
mm-hmm.
So you don't. I don't want to wait till like November. I want to wait till like June.
I get that for
May.
sure.
So like I would personally look to something a little sooner, or like not that you're gonna bet Champions League, but you should. A little PSG.
The only thing I'd say though is if you think you have a real good read on an MLB team, you're getting your best odds now.
Yes, but there's also there's a long time between now and then. Like you could pick that team up in August potentially at a similar odds. You don't know.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, if you parlay Devers with the Celtics, you're only getting 14-1.
Yeah, because again, the Celtics Devers is the I look at it the other way at that point. You're getting Devers at 14-1, not
right.
Like,
yeah. If you had one more NBA team that you wanted, right? Like it can't be the Thunder, Celtics, or Cavs. Who is it?
Oh, for me, it would be the Clippers. I think the
Really?
Clippers are like a weird team because they got the talent. I just don't think they put it together, but potentially, yeah.
Interesting. You parlay Schwarb or Devers with the Clippers.
Yeah, like what?
You get about 250 to 1.
250. See, like that. That's
it's
nice.
Plus 24,650.
Yeah.
But is that worth it?
I mean, again, it's worth it because if you like Devers, you're already betting him. If you have the Clippers at 248 to 1, no one who knows what they're talking about would say that that's a bad bet. That's clearly a good bet. It's going to lose, but no one's really worried about that. So yeah, I'm all about that. Why not the Rockets? I love the Rockets. I just think they're like a year or two away.
Yeah. You mentioned it though. Like I think people sleep on the Clippers because Kawhi's always been hurt, but
that's what I mean.
If Kawhi actually is healthy and Harden's playing well, and they have some decent enough role players,
Zubac, like these guys, they have a team that's more structured in a series, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, what a tough road or a tough hill to climb for sure. But like, let's see where they are across. Yeah, they're plus 4,400. Not a whole lot of difference across books, oddly enough.
But you're still getting the best of it. And
Yep.
again, their true odds might be 60 to 1. What do I know? I have no idea, obviously. If I knew that, but I
Also,
do.
$10 wins you 2,500.
Again, you're not going to feel it.
Yeah. You don't feel a thing at
And
all.
Devers is probably not going to hit a home run, so it's
Exactly.
so don't worry about it.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth? It doesn't really matter. It
Nope.
doesn't actually matter.
Nope. Nope.
All right.
It only matters if you make money. That's the ironic part about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Looks like most of these odds, like the best odds, are on FanDuel. But here's something though. Like this is what I'm talking about. If you were going to grab the Cavs, don't do it on FanDuel. Like definitely don't. That is going to move things significantly if you're parlaying it with a home run. Like the plus 650 compared to a 5-1 paired with a plus 450 home run. Had you got that home run on DraftKings, that makes a really big difference.
Huge. Just like the Celtics, plus 220 versus 185.
Right, exactly. It's a huge difference.
Huge.
When you're parlaying it as well. But yeah, like if you guys can see this, you look at some of these bets on the board right now, like you've got a lot of these ones on NoVig that don't actually exist elsewhere, right? Like a lot of these don't. Najee Marshall does because, well, for obvious reasons, right? Like Dallas is not one of those teams today.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to have a lot of these instances where, here, I'll give you an example, Ben, like Mogbo.
Yes, Mogbo.
Look, like no DraftKings, no FanDuel, no, like a lot of those other books just aren't going to have it. Now, the funny thing is you'll see these overs, like Al Horford overs, okay? You can bet this on a lot of these books, but I'll tell you what you can't do. You know what you can't do? You can't bet the under on it.
Yeah, one-way market style. Again,
Yep.
they don't 90% of people, maybe more, that are interested in these type of props are betting for money. Like they are betting with either tools, they're betting with like no one is like, all right, long work week, Friday night, I got to get my Jonathan Mogbo prop sweat on. Like no one thinks like that. It's for money. It's for edge. So the books are going to protect themselves from that type of stuff.
Yeah, you're just not going to be able to find like the truth is there will not be a ton of edges for today.
Huge edge. I just want to make this distinction. Huge edges in the origination side.
Absolutely.
Not as much in the top down side. And then the third part, can you get the line? Bobby Portis last night, perfect example. A lot of sharp people, Greg Ehrenberg being one of them, really, really wanted to get exposure to those props. Thought Giannis might not play. He ultimately did. And he sat the fourth and went under, by the way.
Which, by the way, I bet live on this stream for that exact reason.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was looking sketchy for a second.
Oh, it was
they were
really
down
sketchy.
at halftime. Like it was.
I know. I had Kuzma, and I was like, first of all, Kuzma put up 0-0-0-0-0 in the first quarter, but then he rallied.
When I saw, sorry, go ahead. Sorry,
you just couldn't get the lines. That's the third part. If the books don't allow you to make actionable play, there's nothing you can do.
Right, but if you couldn't get the lines, just take the unders on Giannis and guys like that.
You have to. Again, this is more to me art than science.
Yeah.
Like, okay, domino effect. This team's 20-point favorites tonight. What does that do? Who's available? Live betting, I think, is important here.
Big time. Here's the problem, though. Even the origination edge is curbed on a day like today because, again, one-way markets. Like, unless you're on these exchanges, but you also have to get – this is the other thing. If you're on these exchanges, Ben, and you have, like, a great origination side on the over on, like, a super – kind of just obscure player, you still have to get people to fill those orders on the under.
Definitely. It's not that easy. Having the edge is only a piece of the puzzle.
Right.
Like,
so, Yeah, no, it's true, but also that doesn't mean you won't. Like there will be some edges today on meaningful games. So I'll say that much. Like there will be meaningful games where you will find edges, and within the top down market as well. So here, look, like why don't we just quickly take a look at some of these meaningful games because there are some of them that are
Oh,
not.
definitely.
Yeah, and you'll typically know by the spread, but not always. Like Atlanta's still trying to win this game. Um, Milwaukee and Detroit play each other 2 times to close out the season, and Milwaukee has a 2-game lead over Detroit for that 4 seed or 5 seed, one of those. 4 seed? What is it? Cleveland, Boston, Knicks.
Yeah, it's merged in there.
All right, let's see.
It's not like the West. The West is nuts. Every day it's like they might end up getting the 3, but they're also in the play-in.
Yeah,
Like, huh?
I think the Giannis overs today. Like if you're trying to originate spots, we can talk about that. But if you can get good opportunities on Giannis at a good number, I think that actually looks really good. He only played 24 minutes yesterday. This is actually a game I mean, look, one way or another, they're in the postseason, but it appears they're still trying to win. So yeah, like Dallas, Toronto, totally meaningless game. Absolutely meaningless. Oklahoma Thunder and Jazz, they're still favored, Ben, but OKC has things locked up. They're like 100 games ahead of everybody else in the West.
Yeah, for sure.
So that doesn't matter.
No, but there are like micro, like Dallas. They want that game, I assume, to try to maybe get a home court game. You know what I mean?
Dallas, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so
Like the Suns are done. Dallas is gonna be in the play-in, but
yeah,
you don't
but
want to be the last team, man.
right. I mean, that's true. They're 1 game back of Sacramento.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like Sacramento is going to be playing. There's a lot of games tonight where one team really wants to win and the other team doesn't actively wants to lose, and that's why you're seeing 20-point spreads.
exactly. And I will say the craziest situation is the logjam from literally the 3 seed down to the 8 seed in the West.
It's insane.
It's nuts. Like you have the Lakers with 49 wins. Denver and the Clippers have 48 at the 4 and 5 seed. Then the Warriors, Grizzlies, and Minnesota, who played each other last night, all have 47 wins. It is I'm not saying it's going to happen. And maybe it's not feasible because I don't know what the matchups look like on Sunday, but it is possible that a team right now that is on the bubble, like that is in the play-in games, could finish as the 3 seed.
That's what I mean. And it's possible that someone that was looking at home court in the first round is not even going to end up in the playoffs.
They would,
just
you're
going to be in
saying
the
they'd
play-in
end up
and
in the
lose.
play-ins, yeah.
And then lose. Like, obviously, 2 of those teams are getting bounced.
Right, like that could actually happen with Denver, who right now would have.
Isn't that crazy, though?
Yeah, it is. It's nuts. Like Denver would have home court advantage. And that right now, if the season ended today. This Lakers Rockets spot is weird because the Lakers can't catch the Rockets. The Rockets have locked up the 2 seed. So Lakers 9-point favorites there. Interesting game. Pacers Magic. What do you make of this spot where the Pacers are in the 4 seed? They could actually grab the 3, and then the Magic are 2 games up on Atlanta right now. I don't know how the tiebreakers work. Maybe they've locked in that 7 spot, but they can't go any higher.
Yeah, I'm not super. I watched the Pacers game last
Actually,
night.
Wagner and Banchero got ruled out anyway.
Yeah, the Pacers are playing for sure. They were playing last night and against the Cavs. The Cavs had like no players last night. And it was
almost
real
beat
competitive. It was super. Jerome was unbelievable. And
Yeah.
So was DeAndre Hunter, low key underrated player. Just neither here nor there, but I'm okay attacking these. I'm not going to tell people like don't bet anything with a 20-point spread. You just have to understand why lines might look the way they look.
Yep.
Because that's different.
Here's one. Pistons 6-point favorites. against Milwaukee.
Pistons are good.
Yeah, they are. And they're currently chasing the Bucks.
Yeah, that's a big game.
Minnesota 20 points.
That's the Nets are rolling out people. I'm bringing up the Nets box score.
Oh,
They
from
had
last night?
they had
Incredible
some
stuff.
dudes I've never heard of
Yep.
on the court.
Really incredible stuff there.
Yeah, they were down 33-14 at the end of the first. Maxwell Lewis played 9 minutes.
I know, I saw him. There was actually a decent bet out on him yesterday.
Tyson Etienne.
Yeah, Travis's brother.
And Trevor's, apparently. I guess there's a third Etienne potentially.
Yeah, I don't actually know if that's, but it doesn't seem like a very common name.
Dariq Whitehead. Drew Timme played 30 minutes. I mean, so yeah, I don't have. All right, now I have to look up Tyson Etienne.
This Clippers-Kings game is actually meaningful for sure. Like more so for the Clippers, but even for the Kings to keep that 9 and play at home against, presumably Dallas. So yeah, guys, this is what we're dealing with today. Just so you know, like I had a couple people ask a question like, there aren't a ton of props showing up today. Is there a reason for that? Well, now you know.
Gents, any home run bets you like right now? Yeah, we there's actually some real good home runs. We were talking about that earlier. The live odds tool, just sort by edge. There were some good ones. Pedersen, Devers for me. Trevor Story, I think, was up there. Laffy, is that right?
Trevor Story. Yeah, there were a bunch from the from that Boston Chicago game. A bunch.
Okay.
By the way, guys, like I said, today you're not going to get a ton of EV bets for basketball. There's a lot out there for baseball right now. But and Noah, we can go back to home runs in a second. But we actually had our devs pull the data from the postseason last year and for the NBA because I wanted to see what it looked like. I knew I did really well in the postseason for NBA, but I wanted to see how the actual back-tested data looked. And it was good, man. It was really, really good. If you haven't signed up and you want to try it out, this is legitimately the perfect time because a lot of people, I think, would look at this and be like, well, why would it be better once you get into the postseason? Simple. Like, it's more projectable. There's way less volatility. So you're not dealing with these players getting ruled out. Like, you can more accurately identify true odds of these bets, right? And it's a lot easier to do so when one book is off. Instead of going like, wait, why are 8 books off? That seems odd, right? Like you're going to get so many anomalies in these latter stages of the season. We back tested it and we'll show you the results. I'll pull it up on Monday. It looked good. You've got the play-in games. Round 1, too. You're going to have days with like 4 games and then 3 and then 4 and then 3. Just perfect time to jump in and try these tools out. My guess, too, is you're going to get a ton of volume down and you have baseball going as well. So if you want, links in the description. Ben can throw it in chat. Your first week is always free. Always take advantage of it if you're a new user and you haven't signed up at PortfolioEV yet and you want to try a system. It's a legit system, right? It's a system with top-down betting. Bet as much as you can each day. I'm talking as many bets as you can each day. Size them appropriately using the bankroll tool and see the profits grow. But I'm excited for playoffs, Ben, because without question, it gets weird at the end of the season.
Best time. It really is. And you already mentioned it, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but it's pretty simple. In the playoffs, there's no blowout risk. There's no, this guy played 14 minutes and now he's sitting just because we have a back-to-back and it's late in the year. Like, it's all systems go. You can project accurately this guy's going to play 41 minutes, 38 minutes, whatever. And when you do that, there's market consensus. And you would think, man, that sounds like a bad thing. You want market consensus at the core because then anyone who strays, we attack immediately. If 10 books all have the line perfectly the same, I feel pretty confident, Laffy, that that's probably where it should be, the true odds. Then the 11th book that screws up, we attack it immediately.
Exactly.
That's the key.
Whereas in the playoffs, and in the regular season, I'm telling you right now, last year was not nearly as crazy with some of this injury reporting because I killed in April, end of regular season, and I haven't this end of this. Now, so a lot of people still are. And I think sometimes my limits can be prohibitive, and I'm forced to get more down on FanDuel than I normally would if I were on other sports books. So it's going to ebb and flow. That's just the way it is. But some people are still crushing to close out the year, but there's without question more volatility like than there ever was that I've ever seen. And I followed the NBA for a while.
It just is what it is. It's the nature of it. Yeah, it's not to say like, oh, it can't be. It's just there's a lot of situations that happen in game. Look at last night. You just mentioned this. Giannis, you're losing that prop if he plays the fourth. You just are.
Right. But I also
100%.
bet, for what it's worth, I placed that bet because I didn't think he would play the fourth.
100%. But you are relying still on the coach's mindset.
Oh, exactly. Yes.
Like,
yeah.
There's more of that. There is just more of that type of stuff. In the playoffs, it's not like that as much. It's just as simple as that.
No, the only difference, and much tighter rotations too. So you're going to see some tougher matchups, but also you're going to see these rotations where now the starters are playing like 38 minutes a game. Some of them, dude, some of these starters, I can't wait to see what Tibbs does. Yeah, Tibbs is going to play him 48 minutes every game.
You have no back-to-backs. So it's like, okay, it's go time.
Tibbs will run them into the ground.
I mean, Josh Hart, I genuinely think will play 45 minutes in some of those games.
Against the Sixers last year in the postseason, he was playing, I think he played 48 in a couple.
He did play 48. I think he played 48 maybe in 2 games.
Yeah. So that is another way, though, just from an origination standpoint, I also think early in the postseason, you might actually be able to find some really good over spots. I mean, you could say unders as well, but being able to project rotations is going to be huge before we actually see what they look like in game one.
Both directions, because if you think that a guy who's getting 20, 22 minutes off the bench is going to be squeezed, he may play only one rotation. Now he plays 9 minutes.
Right.
That's a huge edge. If you see that in game one, they'll books line that for game
over.
2.
It's over.
100%. Got to be early.
But what's also funny about that is sometimes it can work the opposite way. Like if a player doesn't get any run, we saw this last year with Hartenstein and Robinson for the Knicks. Like if one guy struggles despite playing additional minutes and the other guy gets squeezed, the next game, let's say they lost in game one, that next game you could very possibly see those type of guys who got squeezed actually get the more minutes. So you're not worried about the Tatums, right? The Jaylen Browns, these type of guys, the Kawhi, the guys that are going to get minutes are going to get minutes. But there are some of these role players, and I'm not necessarily saying bench players, but role players whose minutes can fluctuate massively. And if you can catch that type of stuff as the playoffs go on, there are still edges to be found there as well. It's not just game one.
I actually think that people overreacting to game one is one of the biggest edges in any type of series. Like it's one game and stuff that worked or didn't work it just doesn't work all the time. And teams, like you mentioned, if they get blown out, they might say, okay, we need a spark off the bench. I'm going to give this guy more run. We're going to close with a bench. Like not every team is going to close with their starting 5. Particularly if it's going bad, like the Pritchard, I think Pritchard's a good example. He obviously has a great role on that team, but when he's rolling, sometimes they just stick with him late in the game. You know what I mean? And it's like, there's going to be situations like that. Everyone's going to look at the box score of game one and then just say, oh, this is what happens. If a guy's in foul trouble, little things like this, oh, this guy only played 18 minutes. Yeah. He had 2 in the first quarter, 3 in the second, 4 in the fourth. He was in foul trouble the whole game. You can buy low. It's not like the books don't know that, but at the same time, I do think the public shapes some of those narratives.
Without question. Here's a fun one. What do you make of this? And then we'll pull up some dingers before we go. See if anything updated. What do you make of this Anthony Edwards PRA today? Now, as we pointed out, right, this is a Minnesota team that is favored by 463 points today.
Mm-hmm.
No, in all seriousness, though, I think they're 20 and a half point favorites.
Yep.
They are 20 and some are 20 and a half point favorites. They're also, Ben, they're playing their second of a back-to-back Or wait, yeah, they are, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they played
because
Memphis last night.
and it was an overtime game, I thought. No, it wasn't. That was the other game. That was there was another game. No, that was extra innings with the Phillies. I'm all
Yeah,
over
that
the
was
place.
amazing. That was the rain delay. That was a
Yeah,
just
yeah, I'm all over the place. But Anthony Edwards is coming off a 44-point explosion. Okay, just absolutely dominant in that game. Julius Randle had 31 points as well. Just an absolutely
super scoring.
absurd game.
Yeah.
Did you see how many points they scored in the third quarter?
I
The
didn't. I was watching earlier than that, and they both had like, I want to say 50, and there was like 7 minutes to go in the second quarter.
do you know, guess how many points the Timberwolves scored in the third?
41.
52.
See, that seems impossible.
52 points. Dude,
What was the
there's a
final
lot
of
of
that
games
game?
that go into halftime where both teams are under 50 points.
What was the score of the game? Do you have it?
141, 125 in regulation.
Yeah, that's a lot of potatoes. My God.
Unreal. Unreal. So, oh, and did you see the Angels had 3 guys who homered yesterday?
Mike Trout has hit a home run in every game that I don't bet him to hit a home run.
And
It's
he had
really
2. They
he
had,
had 2.
dude, they had 3 players with 2 home runs in the same game.
Imagine if you parlayed that.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? Someone did.
I'm sure someone did. People got mind readers out there.
And now their Discord's going to fill up
Yeah.
because,
Yes.
they've got the magic 8 ball.
You please don't fall for that, people.
Yeah.
Unless I do it. Yeah.
No, but it's fun talking about some of these edges late in the season. I actually enjoy it. The only limitation is what the props allow you to bet.
Oh yeah, I prefer this. I prefer like very like scavenger hunt type mentality of like there's things out there. There are edges. You just have to find them.
Let's see what Anthony Edwards PRA has been sitting at. Because there's just no doubt about it that, like, and you know this, the same thing with Giannis. I knew I was taking a smaller line on 45.5 yesterday on the under. Like, I just, that's not what it's typically going to be. They are still factoring in some blowouts.
100%.
Where's PRA? Tell me when you see it if I miss it. There we go.
Yeah.
So closed at
37.5.
No, I'm saying these are all recent games. I mean, yesterday was 38.5. It closed at 37.5 before that, 36.5. He's playing the second of a back-to-back as a 20.5 point favorite. Now, granted, you could just do all of this early and it doesn't matter and he clears it. Mm-hmm. But he played 38 minutes yesterday, Ben. What do you think? What do you think of that under 36.5 PRA on Edwards? I'm very interested in this now.
Yeah, I mean, it is tricky with like, I actually think that
there's a 37.5 too on DraftKings.
To me, superstar players in some regards, it's less impactful just because of how good they are. Like when you have blowout equity, it supersedes the superstar. It's usually your starters. So I actually think it's better to short some of the secondary pieces because the guy like Edwards, he easily could get his in 3 quarters. Like
he could, but I also think there's an element here of like they are second of a back-to-back. And then coming on Sunday, I know they have one day off, but again, second of a back-to-back. And then on Sunday, they've got, this is another team that's in like a legitimate logjam situation. They have 47 wins along with 2 others. The Clippers have 48, the Nuggets have 48, the Lakers have 49, which is just insane. And then if you look to Sunday, we close out the regular season. Every team is on the schedule, right? Every single team's on the schedule. The Timberwolves have a home game against the Jazz as well. 38 minutes yesterday, back-to-back. There is a part of me that going up against a Nets team, you mentioned it, these are legitimate creative players.
Yeah.
It also is an opportunity for this Timberwolves team to possibly just, it's not that they just don't play their starters in the fourth, but it's that they give these bench guys additional run throughout the first 3 quarters.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, these teams still need to win these games.
Sure. I'm not
So
saying they don't.
yeah, listen, at the end of the day, I totally get the angle. The beautiful thing, and this is more of a larger context point, like it's unless you think you have a significant edge, it's just one bet. So I'm not like, yeah,
Sure.
you could throw them in there and not, it wouldn't matter to me.
And we also still have it as a plus EV spot.
That's what I mean. So it's like, I'll probably just bet that, not thinking about it too much.
Penny's at 35.5 minus 111 too. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually bet this spot right now on Edwards.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll end up having it.
And I don't usually put this much thought into.
That's what I mean. That's what I was kind of saying. Exactly.
For sure. But late in the season, I do. I think there's a little bit more that goes into it personally.
I don't disagree with that. Any home runs on the way out?
Sure. Let's see.
And again, I know you said this. I'm going to say it. NBA playoffs are coming up. Baseball's every day. NHL playoffs are coming up. Just grab yourself a free week and see what you think. Simple as that. No strings attached. Check it out for a week. Build a couple portfolios. Place some bets. See if you make some money.
Also, feel free to ask us questions.
Of course, please. Get in Discord.
Yeah, if you guys have questions on this, make sure to ask us. We're more than happy to help you out. More than happy to help.
Rory. Okay.
What's that?
Unless our good friend Jake DeWitt is just making things up. He said that Rory got an eagle.
Okay.
You know, if Rory didn't completely implode yesterday and post it, he'd be right in this.
You know, there is something too. Like, I'll show you guys something. I just because you get great movement on a prop does not mean it's going to win, right? Like, you know, if closing line value was the deciding factor between my success, I wouldn't be doing this show. I'd be on an island, Ben.
Yeah, of course.
You know, but this Buzelis prop to record 6+ rebounds. So the alt there, over on, I don't even know if it was the alt or if it was just them. Well, it was technically an alt, but I don't know if it was, there were 5.5 was the standard line where FanDuel just sets different odds. Because it was plus 122, so maybe not. I got that at plus 122 earlier, straight off the PortfolioEV tool. Chicago's still playing for something. It's minus 140 now. So if you don't think that type of stuff adds up, man, I don't know what to tell you.
100%. Doesn't mean it's going to win, but it is an indication that you got in good. That's pretty clear.
Doesn't mean it's going to win at all, but you will take that. If I said, would you rather have plus 140 or minus 140? Clearly, when you're getting in at plus 122, it's pretty obvious what you're looking for. Anyway, here are the home runs, Ben. If there's anything you wanted to pull up, I think mostly everything. Brent Rooker, Jock Peterson, Jonah Heim. These are all from that tough game, but still plus EV spots. We don't have lineups out, which is a bit of a deterrent on FanDuel, where if they just get a plate appearance, they count, which sucks. Trevor Story.
Rhys Hoskins. Yeah, again, the live odds tool is completely free. So you can go check this out for yourself. I have Devers already bet. I'm definitely going to bet a handful of these.
Yeah.
I might wait for lineups though, to be honest.
I think some of them you might need to. Hey, look at that, baby. We got Devers at plus 450, plus 390 now.
That's what it means. Blue. So what it's showing you, the box that is shaded in, that is just the best line available. So as you see there, the 390 for FanDuel is better than Caesars and DraftKings and whatever. It still doesn't have an edge against the consensus right now. It did at one point at plus 450, but you're still shopping the odds, even if the odds are still leading you to a negative EV bet in a true odds form.
But Devers is a good example of someone that if you're just jumping in now, you shouldn't bet that on FanDuel. Whereas earlier in the show, good bet at plus 450.
It's an example of the most underutilized obvious thing in betting, which is the bet itself means nothing. It's the line that you're getting it at. Devers was a good bet, and now we're saying it's a bad bet.
Mm-hmm.
The same
everywhere
bet.
Too.
Literally the same bet, though.
30 minutes later.
Yep. And that just
Yep.
proves something that's 8-1 could be an amazing bet. If it was 2-1, it would be a horrible bet. Same bet though.
Right. Yep. Anyway, fun show as always, man. We're making this work with some weird schedules. It's
Yeah.
I actually enjoy breaking down some of the like intricacies of late season basketball, and because it applies across all sports. It's at one point or another.
Yeah, man. No, it's been fun. Been an awesome week. Let's keep cashing tickets, and we'll be back next week to recap it all.
Yeah, and like we said, use that link in the description or in the pinned comment, or if you're watching on X, just it's in my bio for the free week of Portfolio EV. If you guys jumped in late, we ran the data for the playoff results last year for basketball for our Portfolio EV tool on OddsShopper, and it was really good, like really good. So looking forward to getting that underway in just a couple of days. But you still have some good edges today to find in the NBA. You just got to pick your spots, maybe a tiny bit more due diligence. You got baseball as well. So, yeah, we're going to keep doing this all the way through the summer and into football season. We'll see you guys back here soon. Peace.